He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. For by him all things were created, both in the heavens and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or rulers or authorities. All things have been created through him and for him. He is before all things, and in him all things hold together. He is also head of the body, the church, and he is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, so that he himself will come to have first place in everything. Colossians chapter 1, verses 15 through 17. Colossians 1:15 is sometimes cited as a supposed proof text to refute the deity of Christ, to assert that Jesus is a created being. Why does Paul refer to Jesus in this way? Did Paul believe that Jesus was a created being? And has the church been incorrect to proclaim Christ as God incarnate for the many centuries of its existence? In order to answer this question, let's consider a few other passages of Scripture. We'll begin with Genesis chapter 41. In verses 50 to 52, we read, "Now before the year of famine came, 2 sons were born to Joseph, whom Asenath, the daughter of Potiphera, priest of On, bore to him. Joseph named the firstborn Manasseh, for, he said, God has made me forget all my trouble and all my father's household. He named the second Ephraim, for, he said, God has made me fruitful in the land of my affliction." This passage describes the birth of 2 of Joseph's sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. Verse 51 states that Manasseh was born first of the 2 children. Thus, we see that the term firstborn is used with regard to its plain meaning. With that on the table, let's now turn to Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 9. "With weeping they will come, and by supplication I will lead them. I will make them walk by streams of waters, on a straight path in which they will not stumble. For I am a father to Israel, and Ephraim is my firstborn." In contrast to Genesis chapter 41, Yahweh states here in Jeremiah that Ephraim is his firstborn. The Hebrew word in both of these passages is the same, bakor. With this being the case, how do we reconcile these 2 passages? The answer is that firstborn, in addition to its plain meaning, is also a term used to describe preeminence, in other words, authority, power, or rulership. In Jeremiah 31, Yahweh is foretelling of how he will reconstitute Israel. Though it will appear to the other nations that Israel has been abandoned by God, this prophecy tells us the opposite. Israel, or Ephraim, is the firstborn among the nations to Yahweh. He is not saying that Israel is the oldest nation. He is saying that it is the preeminent nation, because it is the one he has covenanted with. When the Old Testament was translated into Greek, the translators used the word prototokos to render bakor. This is the word that Paul uses in Colossians 1 to describe Jesus as the firstborn. By using this word, there are 2 possible things that Paul is attempting to say. 1, Jesus was literally the firstborn or first created being. Or 2, Jesus is the preeminent being over all creation. How do we know which use Paul is appealing to? The answer is context. We must consider the rest of Paul's statement in Colossians to properly interpret him. He speaks of Jesus as the creator of all things. He also describes Christ as, quote, before all things. In other words, he is eternal. For Paul to describe Christ as the eternal creator of all things rules out the possibility that he believed Christ was a created being of some kind. Thus, Paul's use of prototokos, firstborn, is with respect to the preeminent authority of Christ over all things as God incarnate.